I just want to show you guys a setup after the sheep has been shorn. This is a tanks we filled with a product called blowfly and lice that we spray or jet onto them. Electro dip is a product that they manufacture from New Zealand. So basically the sheep runs through there and it automatically jets it from beneath and all over the body, and then they run through these troughs that we treat their feet with. Those ones just got up and holding out to dry off from the morning dew, and then we got all this lined up in a shearing pens waiting for shearing, and I'll just show you guys where they're busy shearing, and the wool press and the bales that we gathered, the wool base. So they're shearing about 800 sheep today. And this is the bales of the shorn sheep. Dag sê julle, welkom hier by Boertjie en Os. I just want to say thanks again for all the shares and the comments and those ones that join the channel. I really appreciate it, and please share. So just to kick off the part 2 of the visa application, I just want to, before we started, I just want to say that please, I'm not a registered agent, and I cannot advise anyone on their process that they're gonna follow, and this is my personal experience and my personal process, and I guess it's you know, it's like I said, it's not the same for anyone. So my process was on a 482 visa, and over the years I know that visa changed a lot, and in a previous video I mentioned that it is a risk. It is a risk because of you know, the Australia government, they can change the process of the visas and the terms and conditions and stuff like that every time, and over the years, well, over the period that I just applied it, the 482 visa changed twice. Currently it changed for the good. The terms and the conditions on that visa is a lot better than when I applied for it. But just to come back to the beginning of the process, we all know that the cutoff age for entering Australia is 45 years, and so there is a possibility that when you're over 45 years that you can apply to immigrate to Australia, but after that, you know, after 45 years it still stays a risk. So there's I don't know if you guys know, but your occupation, there's a short skill list or skills in demand list, and if your occupation is on that list, you can apply. When I applied, I applied on my resume, or the application that I applied was they wanted assistant farm manager. So I applied for the position as an assistant farm manager, but going through the terms and the conditions on that, on that level or that occupation, we had to change it to horticultural, agricultural machine operator, because there's different levels on the, on the levels on the occupations. And the other thing that they do have is this: they've got the DAMA regions, the designated area regions, and every state has got its own basically occupations that's that's in demand. We in New South Wales and the Urana region, and on that region the farm assistant manager was on a level 5, and the level 5 would only give me the opportunity or the permission up until 50 years to enter Australia as a citizen. So you have to apply for your permanent residency before you get to the age of 50. So we changed it to a level 4, that is a horticultural, agricultural machine operator, and a level 4 just give you the exemption or the leniency until the age of 55, and that is why we chose to go that way. It's just to buy our time in case there's visa changes or stuff like that, terms and conditions that change on a 482 visa again. So basically the employer that sponsors you, they have to register as a business in the DAMA region before they can sponsor you, and once that is approved, they can nominate you. There's a lot of stuff that they have to do before they can qualify as a sponsor. Their annual income, their amount of employees that work for them. There's a lot of terms and conditions for them that they got to go through before they are allowed to apply. And if they advertise a post, the post has got to be in for 28 days before they can basically apply as a sponsor, and then they have to motivate why do they only want to a foreign guy and not a local person to work for them. So there's motivations involved for them in that, and that process for me from the time that my employer applied up until I got nominated was about 4 months, and then after that nomination goes through and all legal contracts and stuff is signed, you get a sort of a TFN number that allows you to start your application on the IMI account that you have to register. But like I said, agents and lawyers and stuff can help you with that. I'm not a qualified person, and I can't advise you on the process that you gotta take. I'm only telling you the process that I took and my personal experience of it. And my visa application, once the nomination was approved, and I submitted my visa application, it was a month, 1 month, 30 days for it to get approved, and then on another thing is on before you can apply for or submit your visa application, we all know for Australia that there's an English test that you gotta go to, and you gotta get certain points to allow you to enter it. And I'm a Boertjie in Afrikaans. I didn't know how to get through to that, but if you can hear, my English is not that great. But anyway, I got through that process, lucky the first time. And then on your occupation, you got to do a skill assessment. So I had to do a skill assessment on as a horticultural, agricultural machine operator. So basically, you just got to prove that you've got enough experience of operating agricultural machinery, and you know, stuff like that. And for me, the skill assessment wasn't that difficult because I had, you know, my own farming business, so all the documents and hours and invoices and stuff like that they asked on the skill assessment, you know, your business number, VAT numbers and stuff like that, just to prove that you were running a business and you were operating a farm business, or just basically you can operate farm machinery. The skill assessment took me about a month as well, maybe a little bit longer than 30 days. But what I can advise you guys, that once you've done the interview and you know that is the way you're gonna go, there's gonna be a period of at least maybe 5 to 8, maybe more months, and I used that time to communicate with my employer. And you know, like I said, I got as much info about his business and where I'm going to, and you know, where we're gonna settle. And I did went on Google Earth, and you know, just try and familiarize myself on the area. Read a lot of the town that we, Dabo for example, you know, where the children's gonna go to school, what the setup is gonna be like. And so in that period of waiting, there's a lot of time that you can spend communicating and get as much info regarding your new future, so that when you set your foot here, that you know, on Australian soil, then at least you know that you've done your homework as good as possible, and that'll help you to sort of settle in a lot quicker. So yeah, that is my advice for someone that's maybe in close to the position that I am. I know a lot of friends and family that immigrated to Australia and that went through the same process and basically on the same visa, but in different times, and in that different times the application and the process of that is not the same. It's so not one of them has got the same process as what I had. That's why, you know, I'm not able to advise anyone, because I'm not registered in it, and I don't know all the laws and stuff. But I just sharing my experience, and for me to went through the application, and my employer wasn't a registered sponsor, and together we advised each other on the process. So he did his homework on this side, and I did my homework on the other side, and he basically focused more on what he had to do as a sponsor, and I focused more on what I had to do as a employee that's basically immigrating. And we shared the process, we shared the info, time spans, and we planned according to that. And for me it worked very well, and I'm very glad that I went through that, and you know, was able to do that. And that is my personal maybe advice for you guys that is sitting you know, in that waiting period and you don't know what if you're gonna get it or not, and just sit on example Aussie Kana groups is motivating. There's good info on that. I'm part of that, and it's a real for that, and for family that's been in Australia, just to, you know, to motivate you and to just to keep you going and keep you focused, because you get negative and you lose focus, and you keep on thinking, is it the right thing that I did, and you keep on wondering if you're gonna get through the process, and, you know. So I would join groups like that to help you, you know, to get through that period of waiting in South Africa. And then a good part of that 5 to 8 months that you wait is really to get a tick-off list. And this is an advice that I got from my cousins, is to get a tick-off list and start just ticking off everything you gotta do, you know. Cell phone contracts, if you gotta sell your vehicle and you got an outstanding installment on your vehicle, you know, what are you gonna, what do you have to do to get that settled? If you got an outstanding house loan, if you got outstanding contracts on anything, and you know, there's a lot of stuff, and just put it on a tick-off list. And if you don't know what you need on that tick-off list, if you go read and join Aussie Kanas, there's a lot of info on that can help you with a tick-off list, and start ticking off in that period. Just tick off and do it step by step, because then if you do it that way, it's not that overwhelming at the end when you need to do everything. That's just my little bit of advice to anyone going through the process currently, or thinking of going through the process. We'll next video we'll discuss what we, you know, what I went through with moving containers, packing, you know, stuff like that, because that's also a big process, and I enjoyed someone's info regarding that process for me, to help me get my stuff organized for the big move to Australia. Anyway guys, so that's what we'll do next time. If you really enjoy this, please share, like and comment. There's a lot of people that went through this process before me that's commenting on that, and all those comments is really motivating and helpful for, you know, people like us that's new in Australia, and people that are thinking of coming to Australia. I think if you read the comments there, and you know, their process and what they went through, and people that's been here for years, and they all agree that that was the right move to do, right move to make. So keep positive guys, keep positive. See you next time.